Hi, everybody. This is Jill for today. Thanks for coming into my kitchen. It's great to have you here. Well, we're in the midst of fall, and so I'm trying to bring in some lovely fall recipes. Today, I'm making one that is cheddar, bacon, apple, and beer bread. It's a quick bread. There's my oven. It just dinged at me. I have my oven set at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's preheated. It's ready to go. It's a quick bread, so it's a very easy, very user-friendly type of bread to put together, and all those wonderful flavors just gives you that sense of fall and coziness and all that good stuff. So we're going to get started on this recipe. What I have in the bowl here is some unbleached flour. You're welcome to use, regular bleached flour if you like. That's just fine. And I'm going to add some baking powder, and I'm going to add some salt. And then I'm also going to add, let me get this out of the way here. I'm also going to add some granulated sugar, and I will have the ingredients and all the instructions in the description box down below the video where it says more. You click on that, then will drop down and you can see that recipe. I've just got this, well mixed in here. All right, now what I have here is some finely chopped apple, and it's gotten a little brown because I let it sit there a little while, but nice little 1/4-inch chunks. That in there. Granny Smith is great. This happens to be a Fuji, something that's on the firmer side, so it won't, kind of cook down. I have some shredded cheddar here. Put that in. I'm going to save a little bit to put on the top. Right, and then I'm also going to add some crisp, finely chopped bacon. It's been drained. And then what I want to do here is get this all mixed in so the the cheese and the bacon and the apple have all been coated with that flour mixture. And we're about there. That looks pretty darn good to me. And if you have little places there you think there's a little too much there, as we mix it, it'll disperse. But this is I think a very good representation of how it should look. You know what else would be excellent in this, and I just thought of it? Walnuts. Chopped up walnuts would be really good in this. So now I'm going to add a 12-ounce bottle, can, whatever you like, of beer. This is a light beer. You could use a dark one or maybe an ale. And that's going to give you a lot of fluff. That's going to give you some nice flavor. Then I'm going to stir this in. And as I always say about quick breads, you want to get it thoroughly mixed, but you don't want to beat it up because that'll give you more of a dense, flatter bread. But with all this baking powder and beer, this should be a nice, fluffy beer here. Bread. Pull that off there. And you see, I've pretty much have that flour all taken care of. I'm going to need just a few more turns here. I use almost, when I do quick breads like this, I do almost like a folding. As you can see, I'm kind of folding instead of stirring it. And I think I can smell that beer. It smells very, very good. All right, I think if you see little tiny bits of flour here and there, that's not a big deal. It will be fine. I'll scrape all this off. But as you can see, it's kind of a shaggy dough. It's thick. It's not runny. Now I'm going to bring in, this is a 9x5 loaf pan, and I have greased it really well. And then I slept in here and what it's called a sling. This is parchment paper. You don't want to use wax paper because that would melt. And you just cut it to size, put it in there. And I don't usually put it on the ends. I've greased to the ends. And the theory is, and it works, is once you're baked, this just pops out and the bread comes out beautifully. So that is what we're going to do there. And I'm going to pour this in to this pan. Ugh, it's heavy. Ugh. Yes, that's a heavy dough. Yeah, let me get the rest of it here. I'm going to spread this out. It's very thick, but as you can see, it's spreading out nicely. We just want to make sure it's even all in the corners and pretty even across the top. I can smell that bacon and I can smell that beer, and boy, does that smell good. And you know, it's interesting. Now, I've done several beer bread recipes in the past. Every one of them is the same way. You don't put the fat into the bread, you pour it on top. I don't understand, but that's how all of them are, and just like this one. So I'm going to drizzle maybe about 2 tablespoons of butter on the top of that. And then I'm going to add, if you recall, we saved some cheese back. We're going to sprinkle that on. And as I said, my oven is set at 375. Just checking my recipe here to see how long it's going to bake. I think it's going to be about 35, 40 minutes. So here we are. Looks great. It's a nice, big, happy loaf. And once that time is up, I'll let you know how much time it took in my oven. I'm thinking 35, 45 minutes. And you want to do a toothpick test. Once you think it's done, this is going to be beautiful golden color. Take a toothpick, poke it down in the highest part of that bread. If it comes out and it's a little on the gummy side, it's not quite ready. So put it back in your oven and give it another 2 or 3 minutes and check it again. And once that toothpick comes out clean, you know, maybe little crumbs are on it, but clean, not gummy, then your bread is good and you can take it out of the oven. And that's what I'm going to do. And again, I'll tell you how much time it took. I'm going to put it on a cooling rack. I'll leave it in the pan for maybe 10 or 15 minutes to just allow it to kind of, you know, set up from being in the oven. And then I'll put it on a cooling rack. And once it's cool enough to cut, it'll probably take 45 minutes. Because if you cut it too early, it's just going to smush down and you won't have a happy loaf. So once this is out of the oven and it's cooled off, ready to cut, we'll come back. We're back, and it took 35 minutes in my oven. I checked it at 30. I had 40 on the timer, and I checked it at 35, and it was like spot on. So it's cooled, and we're ready to take a slice of this. It smells so good, and as it was baking, it was just like, Let me show you here. Isn't that beautiful? The bottom of it here, look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? All right, well, we're going to take a little cut of this here. Oh, nice crust. Nice crust. Look at that. That's the bacon in there. See there? Let's do one more. Oh, yeah. That's beautiful. I'm a terrible slicer. Do you see how off kilter that is? That's one of the director's biggest pet peeves about me when I slice bread. All right. There you go. Oh, look at that. Hold it up to the camera there so you can see all that wonderful little stuff going on in there. It smells so good. Here we go. Right?
Oh.
The bacon.
You get all the flavors.
You do. Oh, that bacon is amazing in there. And the cheese. Great texture.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, I just got to buy an apple. And there's that savoriness of the bacon and the cheese. And then I got a hit of apple in there. Dynamite. Nuts would be great in here. The other thing I thought would be if you wanted to change out the apple and put in sauteed onions. Oh, man. You know, more not caramelized onions, really. More of that type of onion. But this is amazing bread. What is that over there? What do you want?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Okay.
I was thinking you could actually replace the bacon with some sausage. Too.
Like ground up sausage. Breakfast sausage, you mean, kind of thing? Breakfast kind of, breakfast, I don't know. It'd be interesting, though. Well, I tell you what, folks, this is delicious. And you know how I do. I find a recipe that I say, you know, that really sounds good. And then I have to, of course, kind of tear it apart and start over again. And that's what I do with this recipe. It's excellent. I will, again, have the ingredients and the instructions in that box down below the video. I hope that you'll subscribe to this channel. I bring out some pretty good food. And this was a bread that's got some English, you know, kind of a British flavor to it. But I didn't want to call it one of our around the world and 80 breads because we're going to Czechoslovakia. It's just been kind of crazy around here. I've chipped a tooth and he's got a root canal and it's just been nuts. So hopefully we're going to get back into the swing of things. Thank you so much. Give me a thumbs up. Those algorithms love it. Subscribe to my channel and we will see you later.